Welcome to Buckets. My name is Matt Moore. I'm a senior NBA writer for the Action Network. This is your Tuesday Best Bets episode brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Glad to have you with us. Everything we talk about on today's show can be found in the award-winning Action Network app. It's the best way for you to track your picks. You get up the second information where the bets and money are coming in on and get all sorts of cool stuff, as well as our daily show, Green Dot Daily. You'll be able to catch all of our podcasts as we wrap up bowl season over at Big Bets on Campus and getting started the meat of college basketball season, as well as headed towards the NFL playoffs on the Action Network podcast. Join me tonight, Jay Money. You follow him on Twitter at JMoneyIsMoney. Jay, how was your holiday?
Everything's good, man. No complaints out of me. Just chilling with family. Like I say, everything is good on my end, so no complaints out of me. What about you guys?
Also joining me, AC, Analytics Capper, Albert Wynn. Albert, how was your holiday?
Hey, what's up, guys? No, Merry Christmas was awesome. A lot of family in town, so was hosting basically every single meal over the weekend.
Nice.
Always good to hang out with the kiddos.
I had a great day of NBA betting. I went 3-2, but the two that I lost were money line plays, and I was able to hedge back on them. The only one that I really lost was Lakers +8. The 1 point, one
They
point.
almost backdoored it. Yeah.
Oh, so mad. But Suns Nuggets was quite a ride for us Suns +4 bettors, as well as I had Suns money line, and then before Jokic checked in at the 8:20 mark, it was +320 at FanDuel. So I went ahead and fired on that because I was like, they're within range, and the best player in the league's coming in. So that's how I did.
Remember, man,
then, and this is now.
Sean was asking me why I was taking the money line on the Nuggets, and that's why, because it was coming right down to the wire. So having the money line there was pretty comfortable rather than having that 2.5, which was a huge sweat.
Yeah, for sure. All right, but that was then. This is now. We're going to go ahead and get into our Tuesday best bets. We'll run them down, and then we'll do the cap on them. We'll start with the analytics capper. AC, what are your plays for Tuesday?
Yeah, I got 2 for Tuesday night. I like Oklahoma City Thunder first half -3. I don't think that line is out yet. I'm assuming it's -3. The full game is -6, -6.5. Could be -3.5. Maybe. I like it either way, all the way up to 4. And the second play is going to be the Rockets Celtics under 232. I think we're going to see a little bit of defense in that game.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. Jay, what's your best bet for Tuesday?
Yeah, it's not the best of cards, but I'll rock with the Kings +3. Found a little ugly play in there. I'll break it down. Let's see.
All right, I'm going to take 2 plays. I'll take the Warriors -4 versus the Hornets, and I'll take the Memphis Grizzlies -6.5 versus the Phoenix Suns. We'll wrap those up at the end of the card. Let's go ahead and start with AC's caps. All right, so OKC in this game, as you mentioned, the first half line is not out. They're hosting the San Antonio Spurs, who got a win on Monday night.
Yeah, they did.
Little confused there. I had Jazz because numbers said this is not going to be a competitive game, and yet there go the Spurs winning by 4 points at home. So back-to-back spot here for the San Antonio Spurs. I don't mind this play at all. Tell me why you want the first half in this one, AC.
Yeah, I like this as a bounce back spot. OKC hasn't covered in the first half in 3 games. The Spurs, like you said, second night of a back-to-back, you would expect them to start out slow, maybe get their legs under them. I do like the full game as well. But OKC -6.5 is a little scary for me. I'd rather just play the first half, 1 possession. I think they can get it done. They're coming off an amazing offensive performance, actually multiple really great offensive performances, and I think they're going to continue it against a Spurs team that doesn't really play any defense. A high variance team that shoots a lot of threes. They can either lead by 10 or be down by 10 at halftime. I think the Thunder is going to be good enough to cover the 3 or 3.5.
All right, so the Thunder are definably not a good first half team this season. EVanalytics.com, a site that I'm pretty fond of, has them in the first half of this season at a lowly 12-20 against the spread. I get the idea of like taking a lower number versus this weak opponent, and like certainly I think San Antonio probably not going to want back-to-back wins, probably going to resist back-to-back wins. Might want to go ahead and rest some guys, and it's not like they have a deep roster to begin with. But is there anything in OKC's first half performance that gives you a little bit of pause here?
No, the fact that you told me they're 12-20 against the spread makes me like it even more.
Okay.
I'm a bigger regressional better when it comes to that kind of stuff. I just think offensively they've been doing really well, right? 125 against the Pelicans, 123 a couple games ago against the Blazers, 115 against the Grizzlies. So I think they're going to be able to score a ton on the Spurs tomorrow night. I think this cap is really fading the Spurs and their great shooting from tonight. I think that's going to regress a little bit because I think OKC's offense will be there no matter what.
Okay, so you do believe in the OKC defense because like the over in first halves for the Thunder this year are 18 and 15, right? And then the Spurs are 17 and 14, not counting tonight's game. So, which I think is probably going to be an over as well. So I kind of wonder if the first half, if you like the fact that you're just like, I think OKC is going to be able to put up points on them when their offense is usually pretty low. What's the total at for this game? 235. 235 and a half is a lot of points for these two teams. That is a lot of points. Yeah. All right. You've sold me. I don't think I'm going to bet it with you, but I'm on board with OKC first half. Tell me about Rockets Thunder and why you like the under there.
Yeah, Rockets Thunder here. Rockets Celtics here.
Yeah, Rockets Celtics. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, Celtics played on Christmas. Obviously, a really good game against the Bucks. A lot of points. Robert Williams is back, so I think that addition is going to be a big significant add to their defense. Rockets as well on a second night of a back-to-back. So I'm basically fading two teams here on second nights of back-to-back that have to travel. San Antonio first, and now Houston going from Chicago to Boston. Not a long flight. It's just it's tough traveling late at night, playing the very next game. I think the Celtics, I think that game against the Bucks showed not only because it was a very, very disappointing game a couple of weeks ago against against the Warriors. Mm-hmm. Finals rematch, and the Warriors were able to beat them. I think this was, the best of the East times type of match here, and the Celtics came out on top. I think it really woke them up, and I think they're gonna start playing defense. I think this is when teams, real contenders, are gonna start playing defense after Christmas, and I think we see it tomorrow night against the Houston Rockets.
All right, I have this projected at 237, so I can't get on board with the under. I don't mind the cap because honestly, a lot of this is the Celtics were the best team in NBA history for 2 months, right? For a month and a half, essentially. So if we kind of bank on a little bit of regression there, there's a good chance that if the Celtics just are a little bit more of a normal offense. Now, I don't know, like they found their groove in the second half versus the Wolves, and they hung 139 on Milwaukee. Maybe they're back to just making all the shots, and certainly this Rockets defense will have times when it'll look like absolute trash. Jay, do you have any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I don't have much. 15 on the spread. I don't play any totals. The last total I had was a dead under spot, and then I'm going to overtime. So I did have a thoughts on that Thunder game, man, because I kind of intrigued because I've seen the Thunder play such good defense, but they also can give up so many easy baskets in the paint as well. But if I wanted an under, man, I'd be thinking about that Thunder and Spurs under. Me watching the Spurs tonight as well. Sometimes their offense can get really stagnant. Vassell kind of pounding the ball away and then taking a long mid-range jumper as the shot clock is going down. So if that happens tomorrow, the way the Thunder can play defense, I think AC can catch that OKC first half -3. But I'd be looking towards the under in that game. You talk about 240 there. I don't think it can get there, man. So I would be kind of looking towards under there. But that Celtics Rockets game, I want no part of.
I do have one request for the both of you. If you see me at any point talk about betting the Rockets on the money line, if I mention it, if it's in the app, and I'm asking the listeners to please help me too, you need to yell at me and stop me. I gotta stop betting on the Houston Rockets money line. And you say, why would you do that? And the answer is because like a lot of times I'm getting my projections show an edge on the number. And then I'm like, well, I'm going to go that far. I'm getting a plus, 400, 500 on the Rockets here. It'd be a nice hit. So I'm going to bet small. No, I'm done. Yes, they're going to win some more games. I'm not betting on the Rockets ever again this season to win a game.
It would have worked tonight, though, Matt.
Just don't.
Come on.
No.
Hey, you're getting 15 though, man. So if you like the points, take those boatload of points, man.
Stop it, both of you. All right.
Let me just negate my best bet. My best bet is gonna be Celtics money line -1500. That should be good.
should be all right. All right, Jay. Give me your best bet for Tuesday.
Yeah, man, I like the Kings here plus the 3. I know Sabonis is going through a lot. It may not even play there. They have kind of, it's crazy because they kind of been practicing, kind of thinking they're without him. But if you kind of look at this game as a whole, this could be a letdown spot, flat spot from the Nuggets. One of those spots that we've seen time and time again. I wonder if you know what I'm saying, know a little something with this one, Matt. But these guys just came off playing a really big game on Christmas where they had to come back and win as well, right? Booker left the game early, but look at this. The game went to overtime. Jokic played 44 and a half minutes. Aaron Gordon, 41 and a half minutes. Michael Porter Jr., we know he's on a wrestling, but still played 35 minutes. Jamal Murray, 43 minutes as well. And Pete played 39 minutes in this one. So could be a letdown spot, in my opinion. The Kings coming off a loss. They're the third best team in the league as well, coming off a loss, sitting at 9-5, 8-5 against the spread, coming off a loss. So like I say, that's third best in the NBA. And the Nuggets hadn't played well in Sacramento as well their past few games. I believe 1-4 against the spread last 5 in Sacramento. So looking for a little possible look ahead flat spot here, and that number looks super short as well. Looks super easy to take the Nuggets there -3. I think the Kings get the outright win here. I'll take the 3 points.
I like the spot. I like the spot. So since 2018-19, so we get a little bit bigger of a sample. In Sacramento, the Nuggets are 3-4 against the spread, 4-3 straight up. This game has been kind of a bothersome game for Denver. The going joke in Denver is that the Nuggets purposefully make this one harder than it needs to be just to annoy Michael Malone, who was fired by the Sacramento Kings and still is mad about it and will always be mad about getting fired when his team finally was on like the upswing and everything was going great. And then Boogie Cousins got meningitis, I believe is what he got. And so he was out for like 2 weeks and they fired him in that stretch. He got done dirty and he's never gotten over it. So be curious to see how this kind of plays out. The number's short here, Jay. Like the average spread on those games has been 4, and this one's only 3. So you've got the Nuggets as a road favorite. Now, if we do, let's do a 4.5 point swing. That's light because Denver's home court's pretty significant. But let's do a 4.5 point swing, and that gets us the Nuggets -7.5. Feels okay. Feels about right, even with Sacramento being better this season because Denver is best team in the Western Conference on a roll. My question for you though is this open 2.5 and at 3 as we're recording this. I would think that we could probably, if you're listening to this, you can probably wait till at least noon tomorrow and get a better number. Like I wouldn't be shocked if this got up to 4. Would you?
I wouldn't be shocked if Sabonis didn't play and it went up to 5 or something.
Okay.
I could really see that happening. But last year they actually laid 6.5 in Sacramento as well. This one opened up at 3. So when you look at it that way, this one is super short as well. We know the Kings are a little bit better, but Nuggets sitting at number 1 as well. Like I said, they're coming off a huge win, actually 3 huge wins. To be honest with you, the Suns, the Blazers, and the Grizzlies as well. Those are 3 huge games for the Nuggets in that one. But this most recent one going to overtime, I could just really see a flat spot here going on the road after Christmas here. So yeah, I think the Kings get it done. But yeah, I would be surprised if Sabonis didn't play, but I think they may be prepared for it. And this one may go up to 5, but I don't think it'll matter.
AC, thoughts?
Yeah, this would be Kings or nothing for me at all. I like Jay's cap here. Nuggets have won 4 straight. Kings have lost 2 of 3. 2 teams moving in opposite directions. So it's a great buy low spot for the Kings. They are also coming off a game where they only shot 44% from the field and only made 10 threes. So we know the Kings offense is elite. We know the Nuggets defense is the opposite of elite. So you would expect a lot of easy baskets and buckets from the Kings. So if you don't like the Kings spread, maybe do like a Kings team total, something like that. But I think Jay's look is great here.
I'm sold. I will add that to my best bets. That's a great cap. I like this bet. I'm on board with this. My numbers like this as well, so I'm on board. My two ones quickly. I'm gonna take the Warriors -4. It's a letdown spot. I get that. I understand that. I understand that no Steph Curry. I know all these things. It's possible that this is mostly me being mad because on our Christmas episode, I started the episode by being like, I like the Warriors versus Memphis, and got talked off of it. And then I was so mad on Sunday being like, I knew it. So I'm going to go. I think the thing here is the books are not going to be able to account accurately for the Warriors home court without Steph. right? So like this Hornets team has been legitimately one of the worst teams in the NBA. As we're sitting here recording this, I believe they're still up on the Portland Trailblazers, right? So they're on a back-to-back.
They're down 8. They just gave up 40 in the third quarter.
They gave up 40 in the third. That sounds about right. So they're down 8. They were hanging at least with Portland. This is a terrible team. This is a truly terrible team. The Warriors are, I wouldn't say a great team without Steph Curry, but they're definitely at home still a pretty dangerous one. Honestly, I think without Steph on neutral court, I would lean Hornets. But I do think legitimately that there's something going on with how this team is playing at home for whatever reason. So I don't think these things are even logically explained. You can say that they're noise, but that doesn't mean they don't manifest in short sample. So I'm going to go ahead and lay the floor with the Warriors at home versus a Hornets team on a back-to-back. I just think the floor for the Warriors is higher. And I think that we kind of saw what the floor for the Warriors was in that Grizzlies game. That may have been a high again, that was a high motivation spot, and this is a letdown. I'm aware of it, but the number here is still very low, given the disparity between these two teams, even if you account for Steph. Does anybody want to argue?
I'm definitely not talking you off the Warriors in this game. I was on the Warriors December 25th, so I like it tonight. Again, you mentioned it. Hornets are on a second night of a back-to-back, and the Warriors. I think they found something on Christmas Day. To be honest. I think if they play through Jordan Poole and allow their role players to shoot as well, like Dante DiVincenzo is balling right now. I think if he can continue doing that, I think 4 points seems pretty easy to me.
And then my final one for the night, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Grizzlies minus 6.5. So it's the opposite of a revenge spot, right? Because they just housed the Suns in Phoenix. Book won't play in this game after re-aggravated the groin injury versus the Nuggets on Christmas. And honestly, a lot of this is it's a bounce back spot for Memphis coming off of the embarrassing loss. They're going to be pissed off. They're an entirely different team at home. They're really good at home. Phoenix doesn't like teams that have versatility. Teams with versatility give them a lot of problems. The Grizzlies actually have a lot of versatility. They have size to combat you with Steven Adams. They can go small with Brandon Clark. They got Jaren Jackson. Didn't like what I saw from Chris Paul when I saw him in person the other night. That's one of the worst performances I think I've seen from him. And he was still okay. It's just like Chris is not where he was 2 years ago. And that's okay. He's 37. They don't have many guys I think that can step up. So I show an edge here across the board in categories. I'm going to go ahead and I'm basically playing the good home teams tonight is Warriors -4, Grizzlies -6.5. Jay, can you talk me off of it?
No, I couldn't talk you. I mean, they're definitely a good home team. The Grizzlies coming off a bad loss as well, where I mean they just didn't have it, right? They got smacked up. So in theory, they're supposed to come home. I know it's off a little mini road trip, but they're supposed to come home and take care of business. I do worry about that they literally just took the Suns to Smack City. I'm talking about they were about at least about 30 points in that first half in that one, but the Suns are missing way too much here. Obviously, not just Booker, but when you're missing Landry Shamet as well, he just went for 31 points. He had 7 threes in the last game, man. So I'm like, man, got to start looking at some Landry Shamet threes, and then you see that he's out here. They're just missing a ton of offense. May even look at a Suns team total under as well. I just don't know where it comes from, other than Chris Paul, who played 41 minutes as well. Obviously, he's getting up there in age. He can't keep up with Ja Morant. Yeah, this one could get ugly over there in Grind City here.
Yeah, I think this is an interesting test spot for the Suns, right? Which it makes me nervous because often when you're like, man, this could be really bad, like this could be the low point, that's when teams step up and respond. But I thought they gave a really good effort versus the Nuggets and came up short. When you lose a game like that, I think there's an emotional letdown there. And if you're favored, that's the ideal thing is you can just fade them as a favorite, be within the spread, and they win anyway. But I think Memphis in particular, Memphis is too proud not to be like very pissed off after that performance on Christmas. They talked all that smack. They absolutely got punched in the face.
I just wanted to say real quick, do you guys think that the Suns, AC2, do you think that the Suns are like the Jazz from last year? Like, do you think, obviously we see the problems that they have going on. I was kind of thinking that it might be the Hawks, but it could really be the Suns. I mean, we see them really kind of sliding here. Bridges it's not just Aiden and the coach. Now Bridges was getting into it with Aiden now. And so Paul has his own thing going on. Do you think that these guys could be the Utah Jazz of last year where they don't really like each other?
Matt, I'll defer to you there.
Yeah, so for me, I will tell you, you've got these multiple instances of Bridges and Aiden getting into it, and you got Monty and Aiden getting into it. I think that team is very professional. I think that team is very well coached. I think they're searching for why they're not better. I think they're trying to figure that out. And a lot of it's just like they're missing guys, but there's also like just something missing. They do not have the killer instinct and the swagger that they've had the last 2 seasons. And that's very apparent when you watch them. They're just not the same kind of team. They're still very good. They're very competent. They're very well coached. They're talented guys, but they are kind of missing it versus Memphis. I think still has that edge. I'll be curious to see, again, this is a great test spot for like where the Suns are at, because if they get blown out in this game, things could get really hairy heading into the new year and heading into trade season. All right, that's going to wrap it up for Best Bets for a Tuesday. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Make sure to download the Action Network app. Best way for you to track your picks. You can follow Jay and AC in the app. Follow them on Twitter at AnalyticsCapper and at JMoneyIsMoney. Follow those guys on Twitter. Catch them in the Action Network app. I'm at HP Basketball. We'll see you guys again tomorrow with another edition of Best Bets. Until then, let's get buckets.